Okay. Hi. We're back with another episode of Wisest Radio with another broken headphone. I'm gonna get a mic. I swear to you. We're gonna do a little intro episode. I realized that I never really talk at length about what it is that I do or who I am in general. Maybe you guys would like to know that. So I asked you guys to send me a few questions. You did. I also asked my best friends to ask me some questions. And I asked some questions. So I'm just going to run through some. The point of this video is to just give you a sense of what you're going to get here and who I am and what I do. And ideally that aligns with who you are. And then we can have a lot of fun together. So let's get into it. First off, hi, I'm Sam Wiseband. You may know me as the Wisest Band from social media, though I did change my handle because it was feeling a little bit too brandy. My name's Sam. The main thing I think people should know about me is that I really love to dig into life and feel really deeply. I love crying. I'm a Cancer moon. You guessed it. Where's the Cancer placement, girl? It's my moon in the 12th house. For all you astrology hoes out there. So yeah, I like to go deep, babe. And one of the ways that I do that very easily is by listening to music, because music is the language of the soul. It's intangible, and it is something that everyone can relate to and listen to and heal with. And that's another thing about me. I think that music as a tool is so important and not talked about enough. You know, everyone loves music, of course. And if you don't, I don't think enough people are talking about how important it is to sort of be able to use music as a little life raft at times, or a yacht at times. You know, it could be both. It's just, for me, something that I've always come back to in times of hardship, but in times of celebration as well, and literally everything in between. So my channel and myself is here to share music in that way. I also have really good taste. How do you even really define what good taste is and what good taste isn't? Because everyone has their own taste, and to someone, my taste might be horrible, and to others, it might be awesome. My taste is one of my gifts. I think it's one of my favorite things about me, and I think that's why I have a following. I don't like to put anything out there that isn't quality, which has held me back a lot from putting things out at all, because as you know, it doesn't start quality all the time. I think there's a certain kind of quality that I need in everything. I need it in my clothes, I need it in my furniture, I need it in the things that I own. I need it in my speakers, I need it in my music, I need it in my movies, I need it in my film and my TV and my everything. Let's talk about why you're probably here. You're here because you probably found me on Instagram or TikTok. Playlist curator, I'm a content curator, and I make playlists based off of color, mood, emotion, energy. What is a playlist curator? Let's start there. I've often had a really hard time describing what I do. It could be as simple as, I make playlists and people listen to them. But ultimately, I think it is difficult to describe what I do for myself, because I find it to be a bit more in depth than just making playlists. Essentially, a curator is someone that takes, if in this instance we're talking about a music curator, that takes a variety of music and curates it into positions where one will, oh my god, literally, let's look up a fucking definition, because this is insane. I've been doing this for almost 6 years. And I'm like, what is a playlist curator? Actually, a playlist curator is someone who selects and organizes songs into thematic lists for streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple Music. They act as tastemakers, creating an immersive listening experience based on a specific genre, mood, or activity. I like to stay out of the like music world a little bit in terms of who's curating what, who's doing what. It puts me in a bit of a like, well, I'm not doing that, so I must be doing it wrong. So I don't really fuck with it. I'm also like, I just like living in my own world about things. And I think that is mainly a big takeaway as well, is like, I just like listening to music that I find, that I come upon, that people show me. It's very intuitive and it's very like, I'm just living. And then I find music and I'm constantly like listening to music and looking for music. And when I'm not, it's when I'm like the most out of my life. Like if I'm like depressed or recovering from something that happened that is, a big life event, and I don't listen to music, it's because I'm like actually like really taking all the energy that I can to like process and listening to more music that I've listened to when I was growing up. It's like a nostalgia thing. Anyway, so that's what a playlist curator is. What do? I go through music. I'm always looking for music. Like, I love going down rabbit holes. I love finding a sound that I really like hearing and just going into that world and exploring that world like as much as I can until I'm over it, essentially. So what I do with my playlists is, here are my playlists.
These are my ladies.
Tra-la-la. Cool. Let's talk about how I started doing this, shall we? So, in 2020, we all know that was a big year. In January, I moved to LA after college. And once COVID hit, around 3 months later, I ended up picking up a delivery driver job for a friend's restaurant. During that time, I heard Mode Rat's A New Error, which is a god tier song, I would say, perhaps. I heard it in the restaurant that I was delivering from, because no one was going to eat there, so they needed delivery drivers because everyone was shaking in fear. I heard A New Era for the first time, and it inspired me so much that I created a playlist around it. That playlist changed my life in like the realest way you could imagine. Like, it's so crazy to think about. But I ended up just putting a bunch of songs. I don't even know where these songs came from. Like, this is still one of the best playlists I've ever made, if not the best. Like, it just like transformed everything for me. I ended up writing in one of my journals at the time a list of all the songs, and I wrote them in chromatic order. I'll show you. I have the notebook. Ow! Give me a second. It was this one all along. This was what it looked like when I wrote all of them down. Come on. Over here. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Okay. Started out like that, and I used like multiple colors for different songs because I felt that they were quite dynamic. Yeah, I was writing in here every single day. I like wrote every morning or every night if I didn't do it in the morning, and I got these colored pens, and I just started writing down the playlists in color because I wanted to order it, and it was such a mystical sort of playlist that I didn't know how to order it, and I just wanted to do something different, I think. I don't know. I don't really remember a reason why I did anything. But I wrote my will in here. I wrote my last will and testament. Good Lord. So I had these playlists called Fuck a Playlist, FK, a playlist, and I had those in college. So I would make those, and it would just be every fucking song I liked at that time. So I went back into those and got those and did more fucka playlists. And then I put those in color. And then that's when I started making the playlists. Okay, yeah, so I did that. And once I did that, I was like, yo, I think making a playlists out of this would be sick. So I ended up doing that. And I started out with just the colors that I had in my pens. So the pens were red, purple, blue, orange, green, and yellow. Roy G. Biv, if you will. And I guess in another video we can run through what they all mean, but I'll just do it really quickly. Like, red I just saw as like really aggressive, very like angry. Orange just felt like a lot of energy, like very high energy, bright orange, not like a creamsicle. Yellow just felt like happiness, elation, brightness. Green was weird at first. It was like anything that kind of had a like strangeness to it. I remember one of the first songs I put on it was Love My Way by the Psychedelic Furs, which I would not put on green at this point. But that like do 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 do, it just felt really weird. I think green is like the weird playlist and I love it. It's like an outlier sort of thing. I don't know. Blue was pretty easy, honestly. Blue is like cool, you know, like just like a cool tone and chilled and calm. Purple always has felt very royal and very deep. So those were like the very cinematic songs that felt kind of like otherworldly and like kind of like godly, holy, if you will. Initially it started off as something very different than what it is, but that's how it started. Once I started getting the playlist together, I was like so excited by the idea that I just wanted everyone to hear them because I just thought they were good. Like I really just thought they were good and I enjoyed them so much and I just thought that everyone else could enjoy them. That's like literally all I wanted at the beginning. And I took to TikTok, which previously I had been like, everyone's posting on TikTok, that's so weird. And then I was like, oh, wait, people are starting businesses. It was a business decision for me to go on TikTok. It wasn't like this is super fun. Like, I wanted people to have the playlists and I wanted to see what could happen if I could make something on TikTok go viral, because I had so much fun making the playlists that I didn't want to do anything else. Like, I was like, okay, I'm here in this life to find the thing that I want to do the most and the thing that lights me up the most, and it was music curation. Did I see that coming? No. I was a film major, but I have always been really passionate about music. I've always been really drawn to music. Music has always gotten me through so many things. Music is how I met so many of my friends. Music is how I connect to people. Like, it's just such a core pillar for me. So, yeah, I basically just started posting on TikTok, trying to sort of catch a vibe. And this is just coming from someone who, I think a lot of people who meet me consider me very confident, very outgoing, and those are things that I am. But I have never... Social media was not something that came easy to me in the sense that, like, looking at the camera and being like, hey, here's what I have to offer. It's... That's so rude. That's literally not what happens. But that's what it feels like to me sometimes, is, like, very salesy, and I've just never... Oh, my God. It, like, actually hurts to, like, do that. But I did do that for a really long time. And it never felt easy to do that. But the videos that did really well were the videos where I was just like, here's the music that's really exciting to me. And given I had this brand already that was about color and music, like two things that are so intangible that everyone knows. So that was a good way in. I ended up posting, I think it was like my 5th video or something that popped off and got me 16,000 followers overnight. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking sit here and make a video. And I felt really uncomfortable doing the video for many reasons, but also because I was living in a home with people and I didn't want anyone to hear me. So my first video was like, listen the fuck up, you guys. Okay, TikTok, I'm going to be very honest with you. Since literally day one of quarantine, I've been making these playlists, and to be honest, it is literally my favorite thing in the entire world. I'm obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with it that I add all the new songs that I listen to for the week into one playlist called New and Review, and then I go through that playlist, and then I take those songs and put them in other little playlists so that it's constantly updating itself every single week. I realize that this sounds a little psychotic, and that's because it absolutely is. With that said, I think you're really gonna like them. Each one has its own vibe, its own feeling. That's the most important thing, right? We're feeling. Are you seething with rage? Red. I know we all love main character playlists. Purple. I'm not gonna lie to you, this shit is the most fun that you will ever have. All I want is just to be able to share shit with you guys. So if you need new music, go check out my Spotify. I love you. I made that video and I think I did like a little like ritual before, not in like a fucking witchy way really, but just like I was doing a lot of witchy shit back then. It wasn't out of the realm of possibilities. Let's just say that. I think I jumped on my bed, played what was at the time Silver, and was like, I'm just gonna fucking talk. I'm just gonna talk and people are gonna hear what I have to fucking say. Which is honestly a little bit how I feel right now making this fucking podcast. You know, good tidings. Am I right? I didn't check on it for a while and then I checked on it later that night and I looked at Green and it had 208. I remember this so clearly. It had 208 followers. And if I look in one of those journals, it was like the best night of my life and nothing had even it was getting a little bit of traction. I had no idea that it was going to grow so much even in just like the day that it happened. And I was like, my dreams are coming true. Like I was right. People give a fuck. Holy shit. My life has changed. People care. Like people fucking care. That's all I needed to know because I was like, I care about this so much. Other people surely care. So we have something. I was like, we have something and I can take this and I can grow with it. I just needed to know that it was a thing that I had. Then as things started to progress, I was so high off of like the fact that I had gotten so much virality off of one thing. And I found it really difficult to continue posting in a way that I think a lot of people still to this day are trying to post, you know, like every day, 6 times a day. No, I was never fucking doing that. But like I tried and it was so fucking uncomfortable, like so viscerally uncomfortable that I would honestly stop for really long periods of time, like months at a time. And then I would do a shame spiral. It was such a difficult journey. And it honestly, that portion of time lasted for like 4 fucking years. And people are like, how the fuck are you making money doing that? And there were ways I was making money. Like it was, I said, I make fucking scammed you guys. I was like, I make playlists for a living. And I remember saying that very specifically because I was like, my living is not your living. I moved to New York City after that, after a big road trip that was very influential. And I found a place with one of my now very close friends who I met through Facebook Marketplace because I had found this place for $800. I told myself I wasn't going to have another job ever again, that I was just going to make playlists and I was going to fucking make this happen and da-da-da-da-da-da. One of my friends was like, hey, like there's this job posting at this podcast that I had listened to in college. Me and her had both listened to it in college and it was 2 women. And I was like, oh, okay. And they needed someone with the skills that I had. Like it wasn't like I was like embellishing, like I had those skills that I learned in film school. And I was like, I mean, it is like right up my alley. I'll just apply. And if I get it, then like I was supposed to have it. And if I don't, then like I wasn't. And I remember like putting in my whatever, application or resume or something. And I was like, I have this job. It was just like, I know I have this fucking job. And they didn't get back to me for a little bit longer than they said they would. And I was like, damn, that's so crazy. Like, I really thought I was like certain. And then they called me the next day and they were like, hey, you got the position. It ended up not working out and I did get fired because I was so fucking bad at that job. I just had no space for it. And it was also like, there was a lot they were asking me to do for a very low wage in New York City. But I was 24 and I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I did that for as long as I could. And then I was like, it was crazy because the night before I was like talking to my friend and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, there's so much I could do if I just like had all of my energy to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. And the next day I walked in there like I'm going to have to fucking figure out a way to let this go. And they were like, we love you so much. This isn't a fit. I was like, I know, babes. Thank you for cutting me loose. So then I walked out of there with a fucking pep in my step. And then things got really hard. And yeah, we can talk about that another time. But essentially, like, I have been building this brand for 5 years. 4 of them have been extremely harrowing. But also extremely, like, fruitful and just like, you know, you win some, you lose some. And the more I invest, the more I learn about myself. And I think that's the most important. Dude, I had like literally so many questions that I was like ready to answer, but now I'm just yapping away. So hope you guys don't mind. There was a lot of stuff I had to work through. And I think that the reason that I would always say, if you feel called to post on social media or to just like start anything, just fucking do it. Like, you're feeling called for a reason. Is it going to be like, well, I feel called for a reason and I'm just going to like go and get it? And you have to have that like chutzpah. You have to have that energy of like, I fucking got this, like naivete essentially, because you need that. Because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It just is. Because there's so much evolution that you have to go through to get to where you want to be. But it's the most important evolution you could possibly ever go through. It is like, in my opinion, the reason that you're on this earth, to evolve and find joy, you know? I was in a place where joy was really hard to reach because of so much that was bogging me down and clogging all of my like energetic, this little thing here. It's just, I don't see a path where I didn't do this because it was so deeply revealing to who I am and to all of the ways that were blocking me from becoming who I was always meant to be and who I always was, but just was so shrouded in so many different things. So many different things. What's that fucking quote from Girls? I'm gonna find it. I have work, and then I have a dinner thing, and then I am busy trying to become who I am, which I posted on my story the other day, because to me that's like a fucking hilarious line. I think a lot of people see it as something that's true, which like it is true, and that's exactly how I felt when I was a younger 20-something. But it's like it's all of this effort to try and become who you are, who I am. Like, I'm trying to become who I am. It's so funny. But that's like the 20s for you. I turn 30 in a few months, and I'm so fucking excited. Oh my god. The 20s were brutal. But now I'm like, oh my god, thank god that's over, and I learned all the things that I needed to learn, And I wouldn't have been able to do that had I not been quite literally staring at myself in a fucking camera, looking at all of my insecurities, feeling all of my insecurities bubble up and just like stop me. Given they didn't stop me, because here we are, insecurity-less. So that is a bit about me. How's that for 45 minutes of your fucking life? Okay, frick, I didn't talk about synesthesia yet. Synesthesia is a combination of the senses. So let's say, in this instance, and this is more specifically called chromesthesia, when you're using your ears to listen to music, but your eyes are also seeing color. This works in a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. You know, like Billie Eilish has synesthesia, so does Lorde. So do a lot of people. I don't necessarily think it's like super uncommon. I just don't know if people know what they're experiencing. I do not have the kind where like music will play and I'm like watching a fucking like symphony of color in front of my eyes. For me, it's more energetic in the sense that it's like an overarching energy that I can harness and be like, that's what that is. I'm really good at that. And I think that's why I'm good at the playlisting in general, because it's easy for me to hear something and be like, that goes with that. That goes with that. You know, like it's just a part of my brain that syncs up like that. I don't know. So that's what synesthesia is. For me, sometimes more than color, I like, if a song, I notice myself being like, that's too sweet. If I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter or pop songs, you know, Clairo, Muna, Troye Sivan, Tennis, Magdalena Bay, Addison Rae, those are all very like breathy, very saccharine vocals and sonic vibes. So sometimes I'm like, that's too sweet. I need something a little more savory. And savory to me would be like a teal. So that I was looking at like my playlist called Petal Pink. So something savory is more with like a guitar that's a little bit more gritty. Lola Young, BB, Geese, just something warmer. My color palette that I listen to the most, like the playlist that I hit more than the others, but you guys, I play these playlists for my, like, this is for me, and I want to share it with everyone so they can have them, and I'm so fucking grateful and honored that anyone listens. But I listen to these playlists all the fucking time. Like, this is what I listen to when I'm listening to music, and if I'm trying to, like, go discover, like, that's one thing, but when I'm just, like, trying to listen to music and trying to enjoy my, like, soundtrack my day, I'm listening to these. The ones that I listen to most are blue, green, indigo, seafoam, silver, twilight blue, oh, and teal. So I'm exceptionally cool-toned as a person, I would say, in terms of music taste. Oh, and light. I listen to light a lot. I don't ever really, unless I'm, like, fuming angry or, like, really revved up for some reason, I will listen to red. If I'm, like, going on a run or I'm ovulating, I'll listen to orange. If I'm... In the mornings, I have started playing yellow more. I highly recommend that because it puts you in such a good fucking mood. And my morning routine is so important to me that I don't even know what my day... Like, what would life be like if I didn't have my morning routine? Okay, what's my reasoning for doing any of this? It's so important to me to use... I think I talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but just to elaborate a bit more, it's so important to me to be a facilitator of... I don't really want to say the word healing because that sounds a bit more woo-woo than I'm, like, going for. And I am woo-woo, okay? I'm extremely spiritual, but the word healing doesn't resonate with me as much as another word probably does. for this specific thing because to me, it's about being as present in your life as you can. And I want to be a facilitator for myself and for others to be able to listen to really good music, which I think if you're listening to better music in general, like the quality of it and also just like the energy that it was made with, if everyone can listen to better music, you're like raising the vibration of the world. If more people are listening to good fucking music that is good for your soul, good for your heart, that's really doing a lot. It just is. So I hope to be someone that can help in that journey. And also just like, yeah, I just love listening to good music, and I just want other people to listen to good music just literally for the joy of it and for the experience of listening to good fucking music. What is better? Nothing. Oh, okay. Someone asked me online how long it took me to be full-time. My answer to that is I didn't have a job after that last job ended and I got fired, which was 2021. That said, I did receive a lot of support from my partner at the time, and for that reason, I don't think I can call myself full-time. That didn't stop until 2024. So I was full-time in 2024. And the way I did that was through brand deals and through custom curation and a lot of other sort of like smaller jobs within the realm of playlist curation. I would never recommend, if I could go back and tell myself whatever, blah, 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 I, want to say that I wouldn't tell myself anything because I got where I am now and where I am now is great, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's true, but for the sake of our fucking conversation right now, I'm going to say that I would tell myself just to get another fucking job, babe. What I know now is that I would never be guided somewhere that wasn't for my ultimate good, that wasn't for my ultimate healing, that wasn't for me to be able to learn something and put it to use and to grow and to evolve and go to where I'm meant to be. At the time, I thought that getting a job would have been the worst thing I could possibly do because it would take me away from all of this learning that I'm doing, which is really backwards, and it makes me sad to think about you little Sam so depressed and wanting a way out so badly and thinking that you know what it is? Here's the visual I'm getting. I'm digging myself a hole. I'm getting in said hole. And I think that I can just dig my way back out the other side. I did. Oh, I did. And it took a long time. My heart is heavy even talking about it. And there are easier ways. And the most important thing that I would say that I wish I learned, that I'm very grateful that I learned at any point, is you need to be able to support yourself. You need to be able to support yourself. Depending on other people to help you is only making you more dependent on other people and is taking you away from yourself and is making it so much harder to be in alignment with your dreams and your goals because you're so dependent on other people for your literal health and wellness, dog. It's fucked up. It is. To me. Given, I've been through a lot of that kind of thing, so perhaps I'm a bit jaded around it. Because now, if I didn't make another cent from this and I went and got a job as a barista, to me, that's just like so chill. It's so chill. Because I know that with all of the letting go I've had to do and now being here and fully accepting that whatever's meant to be in my life is going to be in my life, whether I like it or not, you know, like just letting go and letting myself sort of flow with the current of the universe. I bet that barista job would be fucking amazing for me. You know, I bet anything that I do with that intention of just being like, I'm led, guide me, is so much more fruitful, so much more engaging, so much more full of heart than anything that I would do that crunches me and like puts me in this compactor, dude. Ugh. It really is about trust. It's so much about trust, and it takes a long time to be able to cultivate that if you don't have it already within yourself. But the only way you do it is by relying on yourself, standing up on your own 2 feet, hoisting yourself, doing whatever it is you need to do in order to become who you are. In order to go down the path that you need to go down. Because guess what, babes? You're walking that path with your own 2 feet. No one's carrying you down that path. And if they are, be prepared to get dropped, dude. Like, that's just not how life works. So get into it. What do I do all day? You guys, this is a question I'm really excited to answer because I don't do much all day, babes. I have cultivated my life to be able to wake up without an alarm. Oh my God. Oh, that feels so good. To wake up without an alarm, to mosey on about my day, to do my morning pages, to make my perfect breakfast of plant-based sausage, eggs, yogurt, sometimes spinach, avocado. Oh my God, hot sauce. So fucking good. I spend a lot of time dancing around my home. I spend a lot of time being outside. I go to the bay a lot. I lay in the patio, on the patio a lot. I talk to my roommate. I do listen to music quite oft when I'm feeling that. And also now I try to make that more of a practice even when I'm not feeling it, because that's what keeps me alive. Writing, I write a lot. I read. I have a very chill fucking life. I have a very chill, amazing, blessed as fuck life. And yeah, that was the plan. That's like legitimately why I started doing any of this, is because I didn't want to work for anyone and I didn't want to have to go to work and do something I don't give a fuck about. I wanted to spend my time doing literally whatever the fuck I wanted. And that's why I didn't want to get a job before, because I was like, no, I'm going to have to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. And I wasn't able to because of how deeply unwell I was. But now that I have worked through a lot of those things and have rid myself of a lot of energies that weren't meant to be in my life for longer than they were, I can now genuinely look you in the lens hole and say, my life is so good and I do so very little. And I'm reading a book called, it's over there, called Slow Productivity. I actually saw Florence Given was reading it and I was like, oh, that looks like a book I want to read. And it is. I haven't finished it yet, but I recommend it to anyone who wants to slow the fuck down, because slowing down is so good. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, and I make this podcast too. I do a lot of filming and then I edit for a long time. And I do a lot of learning how to do those things because I'm still pretty new at it. And, yeah, that's the fun part for me is like what I've decided on and why I'm doing this intro video is because I really do want to take this very seriously because I have always wanted to have a podcast and I spread myself so thin doing other things for social media and, you know, doing other things for other people and whatever, that now that I don't have all of that and I don't have anyone else that I'm focusing on other than myself, praise be, I'm able to like put my 100% in this. And I just kind of had this revelation. I'm like, no, I want to put 100% into this. Or, you know, like not 100% because I still want to like go to the beach and shit. But as much energy as I've ever given anyone else, I just want to put into this. So that's what's happening. Oh, I also work for an app called Tempo. And this is my friend. Oh my God. Want to listen to this fun story? This is how I got Tempo. And this is what I'm saying about like letting go, letting God, watch opportunities fall in your lap. I was going up to LA to see a few friends. I don't have a car, but at the time I was able to borrow someone else's car. But I was like, no, I don't want to borrow your car. I need to be in LA carless. I don't know why. I was like, I just know that I need to be chauffeured around by anyone who's going to chauffeur me or, you know, I Uber or whatever. But I just need to be in LA without a car. Couldn't tell you why. I go up there. I was like, why the fuck didn't I bring a car? I found myself in a situation I really didn't want to be in. And I was like, oh my God, Sam. Like, what kind of like weird shit were you on? And then the next few days unfurled and I was with a friend and he was like, shit, I have a work thing. I have to go. Can I drop you off somewhere? So I was going to go hang out with my other friend, Carly. Shout out. Love that bitch. I was going to go hang out with her. So I was like, just drop me off at her location, I guess. I text her or call her and I'm like, hey, I'm coming to you. And she's like, well, are you coming to my house or are you coming to my location? And I was like, your location? And she was like, oh, great. I'm at a friend's house. So I was like, okay. I go there. We end up hanging out. I hang out with all her friends. One of her friends is Hernake. And Hernake is the CEO of Tempo. And we had this conversation about what he was doing with it. Essentially, he needed a music curator. And I was like, I'm a music curator. And he was like, oh, we should work together. And sometimes when people say that, I'm like, yeah, let's work together. But it ended up happening. And that is a main source of income for me now. What are the odds of that, huh? Pretty high. Do you think people underestimate how much music is actually doing to them emotionally on a daily basis? Yeah. We could talk about that for a really long time. I also think that there's just like, you know when you play music for rice or for plants and they like, the rice will like mold really quickly or the plants will not be as healthy. If you don't know these experiments, look them up. They're fascinating. But if you think that that's happening to other living things and not to us, you're fucking out of your mind. And that is why I think I have kind of been moving away from music festivals a bit. Although it probably doesn't seem like that because I keep going to them. I know. But every time I go, I'm like, oof, this is a lot of energy. And a lot of people dissociating. And a lot of people trying to escape their reality. And a lot of people listening to music that's going to help them do that. I said what I said. I also think that DJs are incredibly, like, it really matters who you see, you know? One time I went to a sudden death show at the Brooklyn Mirage. Wow. That is a dated sentence for me. And also one that I'm being very vulnerable in sharing with you. And I got really drunk and someone stole my phone. There have been multiple occasions where people steal my phone. This has happened 4 times. I'll say that. It's not everyone else. It is defo me. But it's also everyone else. No, like, I'm just saying the environments that you put yourself in really matter. Like, for instance, if I went to, like, a Foster the People show, that's not a good example. If I went to a Namino show, I don't think my phone would get stolen. I'm just going to say that. That's what I think and feel. Was there a moment when you had to choose between a safe path and this one, or did this just kind of swallow you whole? A safe path. I don't even know what a safe path is. No, I've never wanted a safe path. I think I chose things that I thought were I don't know. I think I've been pretty intentional about where I put my energy. Has it always worked out? No. But also yes, because here we are. What did the people in your life think when you told them you were making playlists as a career? I think my closest friends were like, yeah, okay, that's what Sam's doing. And she'll probably do it. And I did. I I have a joke with one of my friends who was like, okay, honey, like, maybe you should get a job and we can talk about that. And we talk about that now because he's like, remember when I told you to essentially never quit your day job? And I was like, yeah, I do. Now look at you. Never listen to those people. What's the unglamorous part of what you do that nobody sees? It's all by myself. Everything that I've ever done, I've had to do alone, except for the few times that I've had managers that, like, didn't fucking do anything but take my money. When you do things alone, it can be really hard to get out of your head, especially when you're a very cerebral person like myself. And I think ultimately I've always wanted to have the time that I have to be able to live a beautiful life and process the things I need to process and do the things that I need to do and work on the things I need to work on. But ultimately, like, I'm a very community-based person. One of the biggest things about me is, like, the friendships that I keep and the people in my life. They're, like, my stars. Truly. I just feel really grateful for the people that I have in my life, and it's really important to me that I foster those connections. That's just a side note, I guess. But yeah, it's really difficult to, well, it has been at times difficult to navigate the world of social media, the world of playlist curation, which is like so fucking niche and no one has any idea what that even means, let alone like how to navigate the workforce in it and like how to make money and all of this stuff. So that's something that I've had to learn and I'm still learning. And being so alone can get really dark and sad. I think my worst moments are when I'm just like caught in a loop and can't get out of it. But I don't have those moments as much anymore because, again, relying on oneself and being alone also means that you know when to take a step out of your head and to get in your body or go talk to a friend or travel, you know? So those are things that I'm really grateful that I learned a lot about, but yeah, it has not always been easy. One more thing I want to talk about. I am not like a huge human design person. I don't know that much about it, but I want to talk about it a little bit because it is so pivotal to the way that I do my work and the way that I arrive and show up in the world. And that's because I'm a projector type. And I mean, honestly, yeah, it's important to me because it's how much energy I have and how I'm able to utilize it to move forward. And one of the biggest misconceptions that I've had in my career has been that you need to go and push and work and force, and you need to reach out to these people and network and contact and da-da-da-da-da-da. And everything I have ever received, everything that I have ever accomplished, achieved, whatever, has come directly to me. I've been told there's inbound and outbound marketing, messaging, working with people. I'm an inbound person. That's actually a really good way to describe it. I'm inbound. People come to me for shit and they invite me to do things, and that's how I know that I'm available for that thing. And I can still discern whether that's, you know, right for my energy or not. But I will never get anywhere personally by going out and like, can I do that? Do that? Like, it's always, for the most part, been an invitation unless it's like something I just innately know I need to do. Rather than me being like, oh, I need to make more money. I should reach out to more brands and I should try to do this and I should do that. I should ask people if they want. No. It's such an easier life to just be like, I actually don't care that much. I'm fucking living my life. I have a beautiful life. I'm moving at the pace I want to move. And whatever comes in, I know is going to be meant for me because I'm so fucking vibed out. And I love that for me. But that was a really tough growth point. Really tough. And I'm still learning a lot about it because it's really, I mean, the society is not built for people that like don't like to push and shove. So it's been really necessary for me to take a step back from a lot of that and also know that I don't have as much energy as other people do. Another reason why music festivals are really hard for me, because I'm like, oh, look at that. It's 5 p.m. I need to go home and sleep for 5 days. And I need a lot of alone time. I need a lot of recharge time. That's why so much of my time is spent in my house and like vibing out, because when I need to do something like this, which is what I really love doing, I need to be able to have the energy to do that. And if I'm constantly giving energy away to everyone and everything, I'll have literally none. Literally none for myself, babes. The other thing is burnout, dude. Like when I don't have energy for myself, that is abysmal. No one wants to be up in here. No one. It's also a reason why I have a hard time vlogging, because if things go awry, I'm like, I'm not fucking recording this shit. So like the vlog is like, there's big pieces missing out of it because I'm like, what, you want me to fucking like be fighting for my life and also documenting? Like, I'm just not that bitch, but we'll see how that progresses. Anyway, that is kind of generally how I feel about work in general when I am burnt out. You won't catch me like, hey guys, here's 5 songs to listen to. And like, if I have no energy, I'm not enjoying music. I'm not enjoying life. I have nothing to inspire me. I have nothing lifting me up. And the only thing I can do at that point is lay in my fucking bed and read and cry. And when I emerge and when inspiration strikes again, that is when I move. That is when I do things. That is when I share things. The idea is to give all my energy to myself, other than, of course, to facilitate and foster abundant, bountiful fucking friendships that I have. And I'm so fucking grateful for it. I couldn't even possibly describe. For those of you astrology hoes, again, I am a Libra Venus in the 3rd house, if that makes any sense to you. I digress. Yeah, if I'm not giving the majority of my energy to myself and doing the things that I know are good for my system, I'm cashed. I am burnt. And there's nothing good that can happen. And that's how I spent most of the years between 2021 and 2024. Just constantly burnt out because I was just trying so hard and doing and trying to force every single thing. And it felt like fucking shit. And I couldn't get out of that system and that like spiral and the loop and the cycle and whatever the fuck you want to call it, because I didn't know how my energy served me best. And now that I know that, it's changed everything. I actually don't know. Yeah, human design in that way has really helped me. So if you feel like that's something that resonates and relates to you, check it out. Get a reading if you want, or don't. Just like look into it. It's really complex and I don't know much about anything at all. And like, nor do I really care, but like that one thing, just how. And also if you don't resonate with that, but you want to know how your energy works, there's 3 other types. And I bet it would help a lot. That's all I'll say. Okay, we got there. I actually got there. Let me know if you have other questions. I can do like a shorter part 2 if you guys watch and want to hear more. If you want to know more about like the playlist specifically, maybe we can do like a whole playlist episode and I can just be like, here's what each of them are to me. Love you so much. Thanks for letting me do this. I am so fucking grateful, and I have a lot of really cool things coming up in my personal life. So ideally, you'll get to see some of that too. Love you. Bye.